So in this segment, we're going to be discussing the most pro-Labour, the most pro kind of. I don't even know what to call it. It's one of the most embarrassing interviews I've ever seen in my life. This is like worse than Laura Kuenssberg. So let's have a listen.
You said last time you were on Political Thinking that your mum kept every receipt because she wanted to check that every single penny added
It
up.
wasn't just because she wanted.
So he's doing this to make her seem relatable to people who are struggling right now, especially like pensioners and such, and also people with kids, because this is one of the things that they would be doing a lot of.
To check. She needed to check. We didn't have loads of money. We weren't poor. My mum was a primary school teacher, as I said. My parents split up when I was at primary school, so we didn't have loads of money. And so she needed to make sure that everything that she was spending, she could afford. And I remember that very vividly, her sitting at the kitchen table with the receipts, and she kept them all, and her bank statements, and ticked them off to make sure she knew she wasn't overspending compared with the income that she had coming in.
I'm told that you used to, I don't know if you still do as Chancellor, but as Shadow Chancellor, you bring your lunch in a Tupperware.
Like, bro, like, why are you asking this for? Like, who cares? Genuinely, who cares? Like, let's look at the serious stuff you should be discussing, right? As you got the Chancellor, right? You could be discussing the fact that sales figures are down, by 0.3% in December, despite economists expecting it to go up by 0.4%. Why the decade of renewal is already running behind schedule. Swings in financial markets expose a lack of confidence in Labour. Act now to end drift, say business. Vacuum on growth threatens more messy bonds, right? The fact that the UK is claiming that we're going to have the highest growth, the fastest growing economy, major European economy. How do you define a major economy versus a lesser one? I don't know. But, we saw the Tories play these games. We had stagnant growth in Q3. It's very possible we might have even contracted in Q4. So obviously we're going to have higher growth at some point than other countries. The question is, have we reached pre-pandemic levels? Are we going forward, or are we staying where we are? Because we saw this under the Conservatives. We saw low growth, even contraction sometimes. Then we saw growth. And then they tried to run it off as a success. They tried to do it last year by saying we were the fastest growing economy in the G7. And that Labour inherited a good economy. So we've heard all this stuff before. Percentage growth is not the way to measure the economy. It's stupid. It's just a way for either the opposition to attack the government, or the government to kind of take a victory lap over nothing. It doesn't make sense. We saw under Joe Biden. We saw like they got economic growth, actual economic growth. Didn't win in the election. Why? Because inflation was too high, amongst other things. So this is what he should be asking her. Instead, he's asking about bloody Tupperware, or Tupperware, as people might say.
If there were leftover pastries from a meeting, you'd save the pastries because you didn't want waste. Is that the person that the Iron Chancellor Rachel Reeves has become?
Now this is almost relatable, but I just eat them. So, but that's why I'm as big as I am. But point being is, why are you asking her this? Why are you asking about this? No one cares. The economy is not in a good position. The Labour Party are down in the polls. Like, fair enough, you want her to come back on your show or whatever. But political thinking, nah, mate, this is glazing.
I still do that.
You still bring your lunch in the Tupperware?
Ha 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 ha.
Not every day.
Here you go, Rachel Reeves. I'm seeing leftovers.
Yeah, whenever I can, I do that.
Do you make it, or do you get one of the family to make it?
I make it. A couple of days ago, we had a breakfast, and there were some leftover pastries. So I'm not sure if the health secretary would approve of this, but I had a pastry for breakfast and a pastry for lunch. So I think that's good value for money. It might not be very good for my waistline.
This is stuff you talk about over lunch with your friend, not on a serious political show. Like, honestly, bro, like this is easily the most embarrassing interview. Like, Laura Kuenssberg isn't this bad. Like, genuinely, Laura Kuenssberg looks like an actual journalist. She looks like a Mehdi Hasan doing interviews compared to this guy. I'm baffled. Can the BBC actually just either get Victoria Derbyshire to do every show, right, or hire some actually good interviewers? The fact that Mehdi Hasan went off as a free agent, he would have killed it on the BBC. He would have done a phenomenal job. There's so many good hosts you could bring on, right? And you get this clown and Kuenssberg on. Wow. Or maybe this is the balance they talk about here. You got a pro-Labour goon, and then you got Kuenssberg, a pro-Tory goon, and there you go. It's balanced and fair. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.